At exactly 14 minutes into first episode of Invincible, Mark casually tossed a trash bag into space.
Are you sure?
In that moment, we were sure we were watching a classic origin story. We were ready to get the training montage and the suit-making scene, but we were wrong. Instead of celebrating his powers, Mark suffered through them. Invincible didn't give us a classic origin story. It gave us the story of a psychological breakdown and a rebirth. And everything started with this scene.
You hurt me.
Sorry.
Why did you do that?
Mark, if you really want to do what I do, you have to be prepared for anything. No one is going to pull their punches.
At first glance, this scene might look like a typical training moment, but it was actually a reality check, both for us as viewers and for Mark himself. Up to this point, Mark had inherited his father's powers as a Viltrumite: flight, super strength, rapid healing, and he was genuinely excited about it all. But with one punch from his father while training, Mark came face to face with the true extent of his father's power for the first time, and being the other side of that punch scared him. Up until that moment, he'd only seen his dad on TV, saving the day like a hero. He'd never felt that power up close, never realized just how overwhelming it really was. When his father hit him, Mark felt emotions he'd never experienced before. He was scared because being a hero suddenly meant facing real danger, head on, over and over again. And for Mark, a high school kid who'd lived a pretty normal life up until then, that was something he'd never truly faced before. Because normal people are wired to instinctively avoid situations where they might get hurt, but being a superhero means doing the exact opposite, running straight into danger again and again. And this scene was the first time Mark truly realized that. You can even see it right after when he talks to his dad. He's clearly shaken, admitting that he was scared, but he's also determined to prove both to himself and his father that he can handle it.
Hit me. Hit me now. Do it. I wasn't ready before. Now I am. I can take it. Come on.
I'm not going to hit you.
You never hit me before, okay? It scared me. It wasn't too much. I could take the pain. I'm strong.
I know you are.
No, you don't! I know you think I can't do this. Hit me and let me prove you wrong. Please, Dad. Please just hit me.
This psychology is so different from typical hero stories. As a Viltrumite, Mark is one of the strongest people on Earth, physically more than ready to be a hero. Even with his newly acquired powers, he's much stronger than Spider-Man or Iron Man. He could easily toy with street-level criminals. But psychologically, after his father's punch, he's ashamed of being scared, and it makes him feel like he's not good enough. That feeling pushes him to prove himself wrong. He wants to feel like a real hero. He doesn't want to flinch at danger. He wants to meet it head-on without hesitation. That's why he seeks out a fight with Titan and even asks his dad to hit him again. I mean, we've got to give credit to Mark because he knows that unless he confronts this fear, he'll never be able to move past it. And even when his father gets hurt, Mark once again faces his fear head-on, charging straight at the aliens trying to invade Earth.
Get it together, Mark. Get it together. Get in there. Stop! Get away from those
I mean, you rarely see a hero's first real action moment done this well. There's so much going on down below, but the camera and the story stay with Mark. We're right there with him, feeling that mix of fear and adrenaline. It's not about the fight, it's about him. He's trying to fight back that instinct to run, instead forces himself to jump into the chaos. That's what makes it feel so real. And the moment he lands, it's obvious how inexperienced he is. He doesn't really know what he's doing, and you can see that uncertainty all over him. Like I said, Mark's just like us. He's grown up watching heroes on TV and reading about them in comics. So when he lands, the first thing he does is shout a warning, like he's imitating what he's seen heroes do 100 times. That's exactly what we're used to seeing in classic superhero stories. The hero lands, faces the enemy, throws out a warning, maybe cracks a joke or delivers some inspiring speech, then dives into the fight. But Invincible plays it differently. Its version of heroism feels way closer to real life. It strips away the fantasy and shows us what it might actually look like when a teenager with powers steps into real danger for the first time. Before Mark can even finish his sentence, blood from the people running in front of him splatters across his face. The enemies don't care that he's there or who he is. They're not impressed, not intimidated. They're just focused on their mission. And that's the harsh truth. What's happening has nothing to do with Mark being the main character. There's no dramatic pause for introductions, just chaos, panic, fear, like a real battlefield. And Mark, caught in the chaos, gets completely overwhelmed. As an inexperienced hero, he freezes, unsure of what to do, and honestly, that reaction feels so real. Anyone who hasn't been trained or battle-tested would probably react the same way. He tries his best to save an elderly woman, but it mostly ends in failure. Despite having superpowers, his lack of knowledge and experience makes them almost useless in that moment. And right after, when he goes to visit his father, it's clear he hasn't processed what just happened. You can see the trauma all over him. Things didn't go the way he expected, and once again he's been hit hard, mentally and emotionally. Even while talking to Eve, we see the weight of that failure hit him. The frustration, the guilt, it's all over his face in this scene.
I just got my powers. That was my first big fight.
Okay. Explains a lot. Still, not bad for a rookie.
Are you kidding? I froze out there. People got hurt.
People escaped because of you. And everyone freezes their first time. I used to throw up before every fight.
This is another unusual scene for a superhero show. Two young heroes talking about what they just witnessed. For some reason, in most stories, the main hero is expected to deal with everything alone, solve the problem solo, and carry the emotional weight by themselves. That's something we see all the time. But the truth is, no matter how powerful they are, these characters are still people. And people just like us struggle mentally, and we naturally try to cope by talking to each other. And that's exactly why this scene feels so heartwarming. Mark sitting with Eve, away from the chaos, opening up and asking for advice, it's such a human moment. The fact that he can admit he hesitated, that he froze on the battlefield, shows vulnerability we don't often get to see in superheroes. And the way Eve, who's just a bit more experienced and has been through the same struggles, reassures him, tells him she's been there too, shows that this series values human connection just as much as its action and plot. And Mark's replies to Eve only reinforces everything we've been talking about. It shows that he's not trying to act tough or hide what he's feeling. He's being honest and vulnerable.
I just wasn't what I expected. I figured I'd punch some aliens and they'd go home.
Not how it looks on TV.
Oh shit.
Mark's words here are basically the explanation for everything he did when he first jumped into action. And Eve's response, it's not just something she's saying to Mark. It feels like the writers are speaking directly to us, the audience. This show isn't your typical superhero story. The things you expect, most of them won't happen. There will be real losses, tough choices, and actual stakes. Just like Omni-Man says, you need to be prepared.
Mark, if you really want to do what I do, you have to be prepared for anything. No one is going to pull their punches.
Mark, and us as the audience, have to take those words seriously. And when he goes up against the Flaxons for the second time, that's exactly what we see.
Invincible.
This time, with Eve and the team backing him up, he doesn't hesitate to jump into the fight. He doesn't make the same mistake he did the first time. No speeches, no warnings, he just goes straight in. Honestly, even though it's a small moment, it feels really good to see a character learn quickly and grow from their experiences. He takes a step forward, but of course that just means he now has to face a whole new set of challenges. And right in that moment, we see Mark lose control again with the adrenaline he feels, but not like the first time, it's the complete opposite. In the heat of protecting his teammate, Mark can't hold himself back. He snaps. And when Rex asks him about it, he openly admits it. But for a young, inexperienced hero like Mark, that reaction makes total sense. Managing emotions on the battlefield, whether it's fear or rage, is a skill in itself, and Mark's still learning. If we looked at the entire first season as Mark's origin story, I'm sure we'd find even more incredible layers, because Invincible doesn't just show us a hero reacting to the events around him, it shows us how those experiences shape him, how each moment leaves a mark and slowly turns him into who he's meant to become. By the end of season 1, we see Mark go through so much. His brutal fight with his father, trying to balance a normal high school life with being a superhero, working alongside Cecil and the Global Defense Agency. Each of these moments forces him to experience something new, to adapt, and to grow in completely different ways. In season 2, we dive even deeper into his relationship with his father and his family, and by season 3, we see him face moral struggles with Oliver. Each season adds new layers, not just to the story, but to Mark himself, as he wrestles with increasingly complex emotional and ethical challenges. Like the scene he is fighting alongside his father.
Stop holding back, or you're gonna get us both killed.
I'm not holding back.
Yes, you are. She's trying to kill you, Mark. If you're not trying to kill her, you're going to die. Don't think, act. You need to fight like a Viltrumite.
Even in this scene, when Mark has already proven himself as a superhero, he becomes stronger because of something only his father notices. He recognizes something within himself that even he couldn't see, fixes it, and comes out on top. Like I said, if we really dug into it, we'd probably find even more powerful and meaningful details. But it all circles back to those first and second Flaxen fights. The inner conflicts we saw there never really went away. They ripple through the entire series, and that's what takes Invincible beyond a simple good versus evil superhero story. It becomes something deeper, more layered, more human. I mean, we even see Mark push toward the edges of that gray area himself. On one hand, he tells Oliver that killing is wrong, but then he loses control and kills Angstrom, or at least thinks he did because he attacked his family. Later, people from Future comes seeking help. He tries to brush them off. Sure, he ends up going, but just the fact that he questions the idea of being a hero, that he wrestles with whether his actions are really helping or hurting, shows how far his story strays from the usual path. And all the things we noticed, or maybe didn't, those are what quietly shape not just a solid origin story, but a genuinely great character. Invincible reminds us of something a lot of superhero stories forget. Being a great hero isn't about powers, it's about being human. When Mark doubts himself, asks for help, or messes up, he becomes someone we can actually relate to. His story hits hard not because we all dream of flying, but because we've all felt scared, lost, or like we weren't enough. That's the real strength of this show. It doesn't try to impress us with perfection. It connects with us through honesty. Mark isn't compelling because he's invincible. He's compelling because sometimes he isn't. And that's not just good superhero story. That's just a good human story. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, consider subscribing, and don't forget to leave a comment. I always enjoy reading your thoughts. See you next time.